In this video, we're talking about some major WWE plans. A WWE tag team almost quit the company. And yes, we are going to talk about some really awesome news for a top AEW star. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. And if you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This way you never miss a video on the channel. We are on the hunt for 100,000 subscribers, and I hope you guys can help me get closer and closer to that goal. Let's kick things off with MJF, and this is an awesome story because MJF is, I think it's pretty well known. I've been a big fan of this guy since the MLW days, but now, after Happy Gilmore 2, it has been revealed by Deadline. They have confirmed this news that MJF is now being added to another movie. And that movie is Violent Night 2. So he has just landed another Hollywood role. But the best part is he is not slowing down his schedule at all. He just got married to Alicia Atut. And you guys probably heard about that through the internet. I don't cover weddings here on the channel, but he just got married. He isn't expected to appear on AEW Dynamite this week due to filming, but he will be back for Collision tapings in Philadelphia on September 11th, which is tomorrow. And then he will continue to return for filming of this movie. Now, this is really huge news because MJF being part of Happy Gilmore 2 is clearly a big deal. But if you guys follow me, then you know that I've talked about this before. It is good for wrestlers to be given opportunities in the world of Hollywood. You know, not every wrestler is a great actor, but it's an opportunity for cross promotion. And, you know, obviously with Happy Gilmore 2, you have Adam Sandler and other people talking about MJF and AEW, and they're talking about this on the red carpet and stuff. That's awesome, bro. That is awesome. It is good to see. And I think MJF is pretty entertaining. And it doesn't really shock me. I actually think MJF has a lot of potential. I think he has a very high ceiling because of the fact that he is really talented in AEW. And listen, man, the stigma that exists currently in professional wrestling is that you have to go to WWE if you want opportunities to cross over into AEW, into Hollywood. In AEW, if MJF is able to have a successful career in Hollywood, that stigma of having to go to WWE ends. And I think that is huge. So this is a really dope story. There's multiple different ways to look at it. And the fact that MJF will still be busy with AEW is fantastic, as well as CMLL. You got to remember he is champion over there too. But I think this is huge, man. I think this is huge. And again, it's all about ending that stigma, right? Going to WWE just to cross over to Hollywood. That may not be true if MJF is successful. That brings us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Shapiro. You guys know who this is. You should know who this is. Because Mark Shapiro is somebody we have talked about quite a bit in the YouTube scene. Obviously, TKO bought WWE and everything like that. Mark Shapiro is the TKO president, and he did the Goldman Sachs Communicopia and Technology Conference, and basically he was talking about WWE and their evolving strategy, which included the launch of WWE on ESPN Plus, which also then includes the WrestlePalooza pay-per-view. And what was really crazy, he was asked about a little bit of their like growth and their success and plans and long-term media rights. And you know, one thing that was really interesting to me is he was talking about Triple H and the WWE wanting to make WrestlePalooza on the same level as SummerSlam and WrestleMania, which I don't know if this is just him talking and just being a good speaker, right? A good public speaker. But I think there is a lot of awesome stuff to take from this. WrestlePalooza, though, on the other hand, they're only trying to sell 10,000 tickets. And maybe that's due to the fact that this is a last-minute event, right? This wasn't something that was carefully planned. But if WWE wants WrestlePalooza to be on the same scale as SummerSlam and as WrestleMania, I think if you do WrestlePalooza every year, you have to do it in a stadium. And I think WWE doing it in a stadium to combat AEW All Out would be a very, very, very wise choice from a business perspective. In addition to that, though, because I do think you got to look at it from all sides, if WWE does not deliver a WrestlePalooza that is truly incredible, with AJ Lee, with Brock Lesnar, with Cody Rhodes, with all of these big names that are in, you know, that are in the plans for the show. If WWE does not deliver something incredible here, I don't think Mark Shapiro and Triple H and the company should get excited about the future of WrestlePalooza. I genuinely mean that. They have to do something to make this event feel different from all of their other B-level pay-per-views. This is not Great Balls of Fire. This isn't Bad Blood. So you have to do something that genuinely makes this feel different. And the only way to do that is by literally going all out with booking. No pun intended. But if they go all out with the booking, then next year you could do a stadium show. Next year you could counter program all out, make it a huge big deal. But I'm starting to get the feeling that WWE is going to want all of their pay-per-views to be on the level of WrestleMania. And that is going to be a very, very difficult task to achieve. And I don't know if that is something that could genuinely happen. And that brings us to our final topic. Ladies and gentlemen, former WWE Tag Team AOP have revealed that they almost quit the WWE. Now, Razar is somebody who a lot of people are hearing from as of late, and we're starting to hear so much about their initial run. Now, keep in mind, they almost left the company in 2018 because when they were called up to the main roster, they were called up without Paul Ellering. And so when speaking with metro.co.uk, Razar said they were very upset when they took away Paul Ellering. It was very frustrating, and they thought about quitting and putting in their resignation. They spoke to Triple H, and basically Triple H tried to convince them to stay. And it didn't really matter because just a couple years later, they were released. Now, keep in mind, WWE did eventually bring back AOP, but they were released yet again as part of Final Testament. So it was really interesting. Razar says, to be honest, when we had to leave Paul Ellering, that was the day when we decided to stop WWE. The first day at the main roster, they were telling us you have to leave Paul Ellering. And me and Akam said, yo, let's just give our resignation letter and leave. It was Paul Ellering himself who convinced them to stay. Paul told us, try it out. I've helped you guys to get there. So much hard work. We can always get the band back together later. Razar says it was a Vince McMahon thing because he didn't like older people that were older than him being on TV. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Listen, man, it's interesting when you hear stories like this. I interviewed AOP. This was not something that I uncovered years ago, but it is definitely something that needs to be talked about. I think we should have these conversations about, talent want to go. Not everybody loves their job, bro. And in 2018, if AOP would have left, what would they have done? But in 2025, 2026, the wrestling industry is thriving. So if people want to leave WWE or if they want to leave AEW, there's so many more options. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Ango Show.